Jessica Kirk is taking action, keeping you safe. Weekdays on Good Morning Richmond. Now from Richmond, with Melissa Chase and Amie Carter. Local trends, local dining, exploring our community. This is Showcase on 8, presented by Window Depot of Richmond.
Thank you for joining us for the premiere of Showcase. I'm Amie Carter.
I'm Melissa Chase, and this is a brand new show that is a 1-hour lifestyle show airing from 3 to 4 p.m. Monday through Fridays.
We will showcase local businesses, artists, nonprofits, and things to do in Central Virginia. So now let's share some of what you can expect today on the show. Coming up on Showcase today, could your pet be the next calendar supermodel? Everything you need to know with our friends from Richmond Animal League is next.
And we're talking about Camera to Canvas, a fundraiser for the James River Park System. Hear how you can get involved with an event happening this weekend. First, we want to get an update. We are going to send it over to the 8 News studio.
Now, your 8 News update.
Thanks for joining the 8 News Update. I'm Deanna Albritton. A former pastor who has pleaded guilty to child sex crimes is expected to soon learn how long he'll be facing behind bars. We'll have the latest from the judge's orders tonight. And vape shops in the area are getting the crackdown for selling illegal items. What are officers finding at the shops? We're breaking down the circumstances. And now let's send things over to Chief Meteorologist Matt DiNardo for a quick look at our forecast.
Absolutely great again today. Beautiful sunshine across the region. The temperatures are super comfortable. We're sitting in the low 70s right now with a little bit of a breeze out of the north at 10. High pressure in control will give us a couple of nice days, but I am tracking a weather system way to the north of Minneapolis that may change things as we get to the middle to end of the week, or maybe not. Again, clear skies as we go through this evening, and tonight we'll be back in the 50s. We'll have all of your news and weather coming up on 8 News at 4.
I'm Amie Carter.
I'm Melissa Chase, and before we get too far into things, we want to take a moment to share a little bit about ourselves to you at home. So I'm Melissa. This might be your first time seeing me because I've been behind the mic working in radio in Richmond for the last 20-something years. Last 4 years, I moved to Houston with my family, and I'm so excited now to be back here and be with you, Amie,
yes.
Be part of the ABC 8 family here on Showcase. I love hanging out with my family. I've got 2 daughters. My oldest, London, is a high school senior, and our youngest, Ruby, is an 8th grader this year. And that's my husband, Tyler. And we love going to the beach together. We love camping, music festivals, just spending time together, enjoying life. Definitely love concerts. That's a big part of what we do. I'm not getting rid of that part of that life. Those are the girls. On the first day of school this year, it has been such a pleasure already getting to come over to the TV side of things, test out that whole face for radio theory. But this is so exciting. I'm so happy to be here and share our life stories with you and be a part of everything happening here in Richmond. That's our cat. You can't talk about your family without talking about the furry members of the family as well.
Sweet.
Domino
so sweet.
and Zilla, the babies.
Well, so glad to have you, Melissa. I'm
you.
Amie. I'm originally from New Orleans, but I've been in Richmond since 2009. Actually got here because I took a job here at Channel 8. And after several years of working in television news in Maryland, in Florida, I decided to make the journey here. Didn't think I would be in Richmond very long, but I ended up enrolling in a Master of Divinity program at Virginia Union. Those are my parents you just saw there. So excited to go through that program. And yeah, I've been doing TV news for, 20 years. I'm excited to do lifestyle, this type of show where we really get to talk about nonprofits and businesses and just what makes this community so unique. This is a picture from my last day co-anchoring Good Morning Richmond back in 2015. I ended up taking a job at Mount Gilead, my church, to serve as the media director, and then came back to the station to freelance and host Showcase. So it's really been full circle for me. I've had the chance to meet incredible people, work with incredible people, but I love my family. That's my husband and my 3 children, kingdom, prosper, and victory. And we just love to call Central Virginia home. I'm still a big New Orleans Saints fan. So
okay,
love
that's
football.
fair.
But just really, really excited to be here.
We're gonna have a great time.
Yes, yes we are. Well, we want to take a second to say thank you to our Showcase presenting sponsor, and that is Window Depot of Richmond. We're so excited to work with you this year.
The following segment is sponsored by Window Depot of Richmond. Are you looking to upgrade your windows? Window Depot has a team of highly trained installers that are ready to take on your home improvement job. Today I'm joined by the owner of Window Depot of Richmond, Frank Amie, to tell us all about it. Hi, Frank.
Hey.
Let's jump right in. I know there's a lot of people who are looking to flip their home in a few years, but many stay in their homes for several years or longer. How is Window Depot able to help homeowners who want to invest in or improve their homes rather than just sell and relocate?
Well, there are several things that we do that's different from most of our competitors. One of those is the amount of products that we offer. So I've got very, very basic windows for someone in a situation where they think they're only going to be there for a couple of years. But on the flip side of that is the person that says, oh, they're taking me out of here in a box, right? So we've got really, really nice, super efficient windows. And in addition to vinyl, we also sell composite windows, fiberglass windows, and real wood windows.
Excellent. And you guys are the experts at telling people what they need for that. Now, interest rates have been lowering, and I'm sure that a lot of people are very price conscious. I always hear you talk about the value that Window Depot delivers. Talk about that for us.
Yeah, I truly believe that value is, it's not spelled out with what you're paying. It's what am I getting for what I'm paying? What's the point if you pay significantly less for a product, but that product fails and doesn't deliver what you intended it to?
Then you wasted all the money, right?
Exactly. So do you really want to do it again in 10 years?
Right.
So, you know, look at the products. Listen, if you have appointments, if you have people come out and talk to you, ask good questions. Do some study work beforehand so you know what to talk about. Make sure you, in addition to efficiency, you talk about the structural strength of the product, who's doing the install. That's also really important.
Right. Well, there's a lot of people who have used your services and have been speaking out about them for sure. And we know this because you were just awarded one of the best of Richmond for, what is this, year 9?
Yeah.
The 9th year.
Yeah.
That is quite an achievement.
Well,
there.
we're really proud. We're really proud. Thank you.
Why do you think it is that you keep getting recognized like this?
It's our people. It really is just our people, along with our products as well and fair pricing. But you know, it starts when you call in to make that appointment. The people that we have that are answering those calls, they're just really good at what they do. And it's not, let's schedule. It's, yeah, hey, what can we help you with? You know, what are your goals here? What are you looking to do?
Real customer service.
Yeah, and our consultants, they're the highest trained consultants in all of Richmond. There's just no doubt. I've hired salespeople from many companies, and our guys just really know what they're talking about. And they're not there to sell you, they're there to counsel you, work with you to figure out what's gonna best suit your needs as well as your budget.
Right, and well, I mean, you having so many options to choose from, that's also a big part of that too. Yeah. When you have that many at Window Depot, obviously you are the best choice for window replacement needs. And if you need help with that, you can visit their beautiful showroom today, located at the West End at 9041 West Broad Street, Suite 3. You can also give them a call at 804-477-8830 and schedule your free estimate. Visit online, windowdepotrichmond.com. And Frank, I'm so excited that you're here. I want to ask you something though.
Sure.
Why did you get started with windows? Like, why windows? What made you even get into that in the first place?
You know, I get asked that that question a lot of times. I didn't wake up one day and go, you know, I'm going to go sell some windows, right? It really didn't happen like that. I just, I needed to be in a better position in life, and I started working for a window company selling windows. And a lot of the things that they did I liked, but there were a lot of things I was like, well, I don't know why we do it that way. I think it would be better if we do it this way. But, you know, the amount of power you have when you're just a dude is,
right.
You know,
well, now you're the person in charge, and
Yeah.
that is one of the reasons why we love Window Depot. You've done such a great job servicing Richmond. Thank you again. And of course, visit Window Depot of Richmond, 9041 West Broad Street, Suite 3 in Henrico, or visit windowdepotrichmond.com. Frank, thank you so much for joining us today on Showcase. This segment is sponsored by Window Depot of Richmond.
Furniture on the Showcase set is provided by Curated Furnishings, Richmond's new favorite furniture store. 8 News, news where you live, with Heather Hope, weekdays starting at 4. Introducing WRIC Plus. Stream 8 News on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. Add the free WRIC Plus app to your lineup. Search WRIC Plus.
Amie, I heard a rumor about your family. I want to find out if it's true. Is the rumor true that you might be adding a new friend for the family?
It's possible.
What is
Me
happening?
and my kids are kind of plotting. My husband does not want a pet based on the pet we previously had. So I don't consider myself a cat person, but I became a cat person about 20 years ago. I had a coworker at one of my first TV jobs in Maryland who said, hey, I have a cat. I'm allergic. Does anyone want her? And this was in the newsroom. And I was like, sure. I've never had a cat, but yeah, I'll take her in. And she was a baby kitten. So precious, so sweet. Had her my adult life. She ended up passing away about 3 years ago. She was 16. But my husband, let's just say they had a love-hate relationship because she was very protective of me. And when we were dating, you know, she nicked him and he...
Oh, that was the end.
That was the end. Oh, she attacked me. No, she didn't attack you. She was just, you know, being a sweet cat, protecting her mom.
So you became an accidental cat
I
owner.
did.
I also accidentally became a cat owner. I was dating someone and he knew he was going to break up with me, so he bought me a cat.
No.
And I feel like it was just to make himself feel better so that I wouldn't be lonely and he felt less guilty.
Oh my goodness.
But it was a great cat, and then we've become cat people. I love dogs so much, and I always had one growing up, but since then we've always had cats, and that's how it got started.
Wow.
So is it, you know, maybe people don't decide they're gonna be a cat person, they're only accidentally become cat people?
Possibly. I mean, if you love animals, it really doesn't matter if it's a dog or a cat. I was just like, I love animals. My kids grew up, you know, with, we called her KJ, Kitty Jolie. She was so precious.
Well, we're gonna have to see if you adopt a new friend.
Yes.
And if you are trying to maybe add someone fuzzy to your life, you can also do that. You don't have to do it accidentally. So coming up later in the show, we will have ways that you can adopt a new furry friend.
The showcase set was built by Wheeler's Handyman Service, your fix-all solution.
Start your day off right. The weather can change dramatically from the bus ride in to the bus ride home. That's why we're taking action to keep your family prepared with the school day forecast.
Your school day forecast is sponsored by Closets by Design. Let's get started. What happens here impacts you. That's why 8 News is covering their capital all year long. 8 News, your Virginia Capital Connection.
Buying a car is both a thrilling and sometimes overwhelming experience, but here to help us out is Liza Borges, President and CEO of Carter Myers Automotive. Thank you for being here today.
Thanks so much for having me.
Now, Carter Myers Automotive has such a long history in Virginia, and I believe you're a 4th generation automobile dealer, which is amazing. Tell us a little bit about how the automotive industry has evolved since it first started.
Well, that's it. That is way more than the segment
Loaded
time we
question.
have today. So this is our 101st year in business. And so in 1924, when things were really just getting in automotive, one interesting thing someone may not know is electric vehicles were actually a thing back in the early 1900s.
Really?
And then the industry ended up pivoting to gasoline-powered vehicles, but how different would it have looked?
Everything
that
that goes
the other
around
direction.
comes around, right?
Yes.
Wow, that's wild. Now, your company is known not just for selling cars, but also you're so philanthropic with the community, and I think that's one of the reasons why y'all have been around for so long as well. Tell us about some of the things in the community that have gotten you very excited to be involved with.
Well, one of the things I love is that even though we are across 3 states and in 8 different communities, all of our philanthropy is very locally tied, all locally tied. And so we have a philanthropy committee here in Richmond, Keith Black and Jenny Lockett and Valerie Gerbezo and a whole team of them. They work very closely with a ton of nonprofits. But some of our key partners, the Ask Foundation is a group that we work with very closely, and we're about to kick off Pediatric Cancer Fuel the Fight Month in September. And we learned that transportation is one of the greatest challenges for families when they have a child who needs cancer treatments.
Yes.
And so we'll be raising money and awareness and volunteering throughout the month of September for that organization.
I love that. That is fantastic. That's huge. When we're hearing all these stories in the news that are about tariffs and interest rates and consumer debts, it sounds so scary. And I know that can have an impact on us. Tell us about how is that impacting car buyers and dealerships?
Well, one of the really good pieces of news is that I do think things in the tariff world have become more clear and have calmed down a bit. Back in March, we had this surge of people scared that all of a sudden cars are going to be 25% more expensive because they were hearing tariffs were coming on.
Yes.
It took us about 4 months to really get clarity, but I think that anyone who calls into a dealership or comes to visit us or one of our competitors will find that we now have clarity and we can tell them which models, which brands have made adjustments due to tariffs. But the good news is most of our manufacturers have chosen to absorb all of that additional tariff expense right now because they want to make sure that their vehicles are staying affordable for the average American today.
I love that. That's so important. We're very grateful for that.
They can't do it forever.
No.
But they're doing it for now and hoping the landscape will continue to adjust.
Well, I hope so too. Liza, give us one final tip for car buyers navigating the current market. What would it be as an insider?
I think one important thing that I would encourage people to do is to look at leasing. The state of Virginia doesn't have a strong percentage of consumers leasing, and with where interest rates are, with some of the different incentives, I would encourage people to always compare what a lease option would look like on a new car to a purchase option, if you haven't done so before.
Does that
Ask
matter?
us good questions.
No, I think that's great advice. Does it matter how long you plan to have the vehicle? Is that what goes into that decision?
Not. If I wanted to keep the vehicle for 15 years, I could lease it, and 3 years from now, I will get a choice. Do I buy out my car at the end of the lease, or do I turn it in because new technology has come and maybe a better deal 3 years from now?
That's
so
smart.
It really is leasing gives a consumer an option.
I like that, and you'll help us with the math on that, I'm sure, so that we don't have to do that ourselves. Thank you for that. Liza Borges, thank you for joining us on Showcase, and if you want to learn more, you can go to cmacars.com, and I feel like we've got a wealth of knowledge already that you brought to us today.
Oh, we look forward to helping.
Thank you so much. This segment of Showcase is sponsored by Carter Myers Automotive. For more info, visit cmacars.com. Now we want to take a moment to highlight Richmond Animal League and its calendar contest. Showcase producer Annie Gallo got to chat with a multi-time winner of the contest and also talk to RAL's development and communications coordinator, Elena Maiden.
So our calendar contest is a peer-to-peer fundraising contest where people can enter their pet. They post a picture of them, they spread the word through social media, word of mouth, and for every $1 donated, that equals 1 vote. So however many votes you get, or how many dollars you get, that's the amount of votes that your pet has. And the top 12 fundraisers win a place in our calendar, with the /1 fundraiser getting a spot on the cover, as well as a month in the calendar. You can vote or enter your pet by visiting ral.org/calendar contest. We have a link on there that takes you to a page where you can submit your pet, create a profile for them, and then you can share that on your social media to get votes.
Awesome. Can you tell me how much money you guys raised last year with the event?
We raised over $86,000 last year. We're hoping to go beyond that this year. Every year the calendar contest has been in, we've grown the amount of money raised. So we're hoping to keep that trend going and raise even more this year.
Can you tell me a little bit about what the winner of the contest gets?
Like I said, the top fundraiser gets the spot on the cover of the calendar, and then they get the first pick of month, with the 11 fundraisers below them also getting a spot in the calendar, and we let it go with whoever raises the next amount gets the second pick, and so on through all 12. And if you raise $250, your pet gets a spot on a date in the calendar. So any blank dates that would be on the page, we fill those spots with pictures of everyone who raised at least $250.
Can you tell me a little bit about what your role is with RAL and how you're involved in the calendar contest?
Well, I've played a variety of roles for RAL over the last 8 years. I've been volunteering from dog crew and adoption counseling to vet transports, fundraising, and fostering. Got involved in the calendar contest in 2017, and we've grown Maya's following since then and been very successful. We've made the cover, I think, 5 times.
How can people learn more about Richmond Animal League and the animals up for adoption?
Well, you can go to ral.org and adopt. There's a button for adopt there, and you can see adopt a dog, adopt a cat, and you'll get all the information that we have on those individual pets. And if you're interested, you can stop in for the pets that are here or fill out an application online for the ones that are in foster.
Appliances in the Showcase set are provided by Harrison Appliance. If it's broke or lost reliance, give us a call. Harrison Appliance.
The following segment is sponsored by Financial Dynamics and Associates. Saving for retirement is more important now than ever, and here to discuss with us retirement and the impact of the big beautiful bill and how it could affect your planning is certified financial planner Isaac Wright with Financial Dynamics and Associates. Hi, Isaac.
Yeah, great to be here.
Thank you for being here, especially
Yes.
because I want to know, what is the big beautiful bill and why is it making headlines financially?
Well, you know, if you run TurboTax or if you're an accountant, you'll be busy this year. So for 2025, various things have changed on taxes and other legislative type of topics from this bill that was passed in July. So you're going to see a litany of, I will argue, good things. Taxes are going to relatively stay low comparatively to the past. You'll see certain income levels really get a boost with some tax cuts. So a lot of positive things that went on with finally this bill being passed.
That's great. So what does this mean for the average American family? How does that affect us?
Well, you're going to see tax credits. You're going to see standard deductions change. Those have all been increased. You may have seen on the news already things like tips if you're, if you collect tips as part of your income. Also, when it comes to the tax brackets that we're in, those have been solidified. Historically, we've had higher tax brackets, but those are now going to be lower for the next several years, hopefully, and those are all great things.
What about for people who are thinking about retirement planning and long-term investments? How does that work for them?
Yeah, so let me say this is important. So like when you're 65 and older, there's some additional credits now that goes against your taxes, your income. However, almost all of these changes, all these positive changes, come with thresholds where if you make certain amounts of money, they get phased out.
Okay.
So don't get too excited, like, for people that are making $500,000, million or more, but this is important for people that have investment portfolios. It's a great time to discuss this with your financial planner. We've had many conversations here since July, both individually and in our office, about just whether or not it makes sense to look at things like Roth conversions, being able to maybe pay some tax now because if taxes are low, who knows how long that'll be.
Right.
So I know we don't have time to cover it all, but very good bill, generally speaking, for business, for small business, for the economy.
Should individuals or retirees be doing anything different now to prepare for this?
Well, I think right now it's, again, people are still absorbing it even though it's been a few months. What will happen is if we start getting to the year end, I will strongly encourage you to work, if you're, again, not working with a financial professional or a planner, work with that person and maybe in conjunction with your accountant or CPA, because you may want to take advantage of, if, for example, if your taxes are going to be lower and you have a higher threshold to where you don't have to worry about as much tax, what you can do is you may be able to take advantage of like a 0% capital gains tax. Now, capital gains taxes haven't changed necessarily, but if you're in certain thresholds, you may be able to take advantage of some of that. So again, a lot of information going on with that.
Yes, and Isaac, I'm glad you know this because I don't know all of these things. That's why you're here. If you're in the same position too, you can give Financial Dynamics and Associates a call. The number is 804-777-9999. Drop by their office at the corner of Genito Road and Charter Colony Parkway in Chesterfield, and the address is right there on your screen. You can check them out online as well at FDAA RVA.com. This segment of Showcase is sponsored by Financial Dynamics and Associates. Isaac, this was wonderful. Thank you for all of your advice. We appreciate you being on Showcase.
Very welcome.
Hello, I'm Deanna Albritton. Now let's take a look at what our team is working on for 8 News at 4. Today, Senator Mark Warner is in Henrico to break ground on the county's latest affordable housing community, what this means for all of you looking for a home. And we're sharing details on how and when you can honor the beloved Richmond DJ Cat Simons during the 2nd annual musical celebration in her honor. We'll see you at 4.
The following segment of Showcase is sponsored by Davis & Green. Davis & Green is a full-service HVAC, electrical, and plumbing company, and they've been in the Richmond area for over 30 years. Here to tell us all about power washing and why it's important is Jennifer Robinson, Customer Service Manager. Jennifer, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I am excited you're here, although I will tell you I wasn't sure whether or not to confess to you that I am a Jill of all trades in my mind, not as much when it gets executed. I once tried to power wash my own home, and it ended with a broken flower pot and ceramic pieces all over the garden. It did not go well by any means, and that is when I learned to call a professional.
Yes, well, Davis & Green has got your back. We have recently launched a power washing service, and it really is just an extension of our whole home handled mentality. So whether it's, making sure that the outside of your house is sparkling or the inside of your HVAC is sparkling, we're here for you to make sure it's taken care of.
I love that. Now, a lot of people think about the aesthetic of power washing and why that's important for homeowners, but beyond curb appeal, there are a lot of other ways that it's important. Tell us about that.
For sure. So if you're looking at your home and it's got a bunch of mold and algae on the outside of it, that can seep into the cracks of your siding. It can mess up your siding and cause expensive repairs. Whereas if you are having somebody power wash and make sure that it's clean every year, it's going to extend the investment that you have in your siding. Same goes for decks and driveways, right? The more often you keep it cleaned, the better repair they'll be in.
Absolutely, which can save you money down the road for sure. How does offering power washing complement Davis & Green's other services? Because you all have electrical, you've got HVAC, you've got plumbing. How does that all tie together?
Well, we didn't want to just be working on the insides of folks' homes. We want to be on the outside. So to us, it felt like just a natural extension of that whole home handled mentality that we have. So we want you to have one place to call to keep all of your home's inside and outside systems working perfectly.
I love that, because some of it's cohesive together. You might be working on one piece and say, this is another part that we can fix and make it run better. How about when a customer calls about power washing? How do you ensure that it matches the same level of professionalism and the trust that they have come to expect from Davis & Green?
Yeah, for sure. So Davis & Green has what we call the Davis & Green way. And so that means that we are going to show up, we're going to be prepared, we're going to be in a uniform, we're going to have our booties on, and we are going to treat your home like it's ours. We're going to do a thorough evaluation, provide you with that estimate, and then we'll never get started without your approval. And so we aim to take that five-star service that we provide in every other area and really extend that to the power washing as well.
I love that you do that, because you have a great reputation already, so an expansion is even better. What does power washing say about Davis & Green's commitment to handling the whole home for customers in Richmond?
So really just back to that whole home handled mentality where you have one spot, one people to call. And from the second that you call in to the second that your job is completed, we're going to take care of you the whole way. You don't need to make any other calls.
I love that. So even if you're not really sure what exactly you need, you can identify there's a problem, but you don't know the solution. Y'all are an easy call to have someone come over. And you do free estimates?
We do free estimates. Right now we're offering free estimates on all power washing as just a kickoff for this new division. And so we're really excited. Just give us a call or book online.
Excellent. Jennifer, thank you so much for joining me on Showcase today. And for you at home, you can find out more information at dgelectrical.com or give them a call at 804-231-9684. Again, you can call right now, get your free estimate, find out all about their new power washing services as well. This segment of Showcase is sponsored by Davis & Green. And Jennifer, thank you again for not teasing me about my DIY power washing.
No problem.
Leaving it to the professionals of Davis & Green.
You're watching Showcase on 8, presented by Window Depot of Richmond.
The James River Park System allows us to hike its trails, bike its paths, and paddle its rapids. And when you're out there in over 600 acres of urban wilderness, most of us have tried to capture the beauty on our phones or cameras, but if you're like me, it's almost impossible to get great pictures that show the wonders and the beauty there. But not only is photographer Bill Draper excellent at capturing those magical images, his work is then being used as inspiration for artists to create their own original pieces based on these photos. It's for a fundraiser called Camera to Canvas, and Josh Stutz, executive director with Friends of the James River Park, is with us. Also, Bill Draper here to show us all about how he got these amazing photos for inspiration. Tell us about how this event got started in Richmond.
Yeah, it was a few years ago. It's our third year having the event. A local artist, Julie Fritz, right?
Yes.
Had come to us with the idea that she wanted to start painting some of Bill's photographs, and we thought, what a cool idea would it be if we had, Richmond has such a great art scene, if we took, and use those local artists to create some one-of-a-kind pieces, and we've sort of built an event around it, and we've raised quite a bit of money so far, and we're really excited to be able to keep doing that.
That's incredible. How many artists do you have that are going to be taking part in this?
It's varied each year. I think the first year we were at close to 50. We've pared it down a little bit. Maybe there's 30 to 40 artists this year, creating paintings of all different sizes and shapes and their own styles, and it's really cool to see everything all together.
Do they paint the photo as they see it first, and then you select them, or you select them and then they get to be a part of it?
We work with an event organizer that's really well connected to the local art scene. So she has a sort of a group of artists that she recruits through, and a lot of the folks come back each year.
Oh,
so
cool.
They're given access to a selection of Bill's photos, and then they choose the photo that they want to paint.
That's amazing. How does it feel to see your work represented like this?
It's quite humbling.
I'm sure.
It's quite humbling, but I enjoy it, and I grew up on the river, and the river is a passion of mine. And people say, how do you get these pictures? It's like, I carry a 12-pound. I carry the 12-pound camera with me.
Look at this camera.
Everywhere I go, and I do a lot of the landscape photos, believe it or not, with my phone. So it's
Well, Bill, now you're making me feel bad, because I was thinking initially I couldn't take photos like you because I was using my phone, and then you just tell me that you're using yours too. So I think it's an operator error when this happens. Now, this is a huge fundraiser, and I'm just curious, what kind of impact on fundraising does this have for the James River Park system? Like, what is happening with that money?
Sure. We use all the funds we raise. We work directly with the city and James River Park staff to figure out how to spend the money to best use in the park. So we like to say we protect, expand, and enhance the park, which can mean a lot of different things. The work this year, we're sort of renewing our commitment to conservation work in particular. So a lot of the funds raised from this event will go towards our efforts in invasive plant removal, broader natural resource management work, taking a look at deer in the park and what to do about the ecological impacts of deer moving forward. And so there's really this event's about raising funds for conservation.
I think that's so important. It's we're so lucky to have the James River and all of our park systems here, and we take it for granted at times that there's maintenance involved in ensuring that the nature stays beautiful and safe, and that it's not overgrown with plants and animals that shouldn't be there. So thank you for the work that you do for that. It really is incredible. Tell me more about when you go out and you film. I mean, are you out every day checking things out, or what's your process?
Pretty much every day, and I get out most of the time, when it's still dark or almost dark. So I'm out there when the sun comes up,
right.
And one of the advantages of that is I get that, I call it the golden hour, when you get that beautiful light. And so
yeah. Anyone on Instagram knows the golden hour. That's the important photo time.
So the morning and the afternoon as well. But for wildlife, it's the morning. And I get out there early, and I see things that most people never get a chance to see. River otters, beaver, eagles, osprey, those things, and herons and things. But some of the things like river otters and things like that you don't normally see later on, and mink and muskrats and things like that. Deer. We've got a tremendous population of deer, and quite a healthy population.
Well, I love that you're able to photograph it for us, and that the art is going to be made from your photographs. Josh and Bill, thank you so much for joining us here today on Showcase. And if you're at home, you can support the Friends of the James River Park and find out more about Camera to Canvas. It's going to be a great event for jamesriverpark.org. That's where you can go. The event is happening on September 12th, 6 to 9 p.m. at Willow Oaks Country Club.
Flooring on the Showcase set is provided by Brooks Brothers Flooring. My name is on the building, and I care about my name.
The following portion of Showcase is sponsored by Henrico Federal Credit Union. When it comes to building a stronger community, it's not just about dollars and cents, it's about people. And joining us today on Showcase are Charity Rupp and Rachel Johnston from Henrico Federal Credit Union to share how they're helping families, schools, and businesses thrive. Welcome.
Thank you.
We're so excited you're here because Henrico Federal Credit Union is known as a community credit union. So for those who are not really familiar with what that means, how do you explain that to help?
That's a good question. Credit unions are community-based, but originally we were created by Henrico County employees, right? So in 1967, a group of Henrico County employees got together and decided to put us together, and here we were. But throughout the years, we grew. In 2011, we opened up to the community, so we are now open to over 20 counties and cities in Henrico County and Richmond County and Chesterfield. So it's been great. We can now offer our products to people who live, work, worship, and attend school in the greater Richmond area. But we're still true to the people who brought us, who founded us, right? We have stayed very dedicated to Henrico County. We have a relationship with Nabisco and the Defense Supply Center. So yeah, so we're all over there, but we still really take care of the people who founded us, even though offering everything we can to the rest of the area.
Absolutely. You've got something for everybody. How does Henrico Federal Credit Union support the local community beyond the financial services?
Well, we also do nonprofits. We support nonprofits. A big one we support is Henrico Education Foundation. We support the staff at DSCR. We support different nonprofits throughout the county, and we also provide financial education, which is super important to us.
All of us need that.
Oh my goodness! Even myself, sometimes I'm like, wow, I don't have a big enough emergency fund, and then my son, thought that he could pay for gas with debit cards only and didn't know he could use cash. So there's always an opportunity to teach a lot of people in this area, and so we're very passionate about that.
I love that. And you guys are passionate about doing things in the community. I was looking at all the pictures, the hot air balloons from the Sky Glow night event in Henrico County. Tell us about that event and why that was so important to y'all.
Oh man, that was fantastic. So basically hot air balloons are part of our identity. And in 2020, we gave away different balloon rides to first responders during COVID. And it was so well received. And the county came to us and it's like, we're thinking of doing this. And we're like, sign us up. We're there. We want to support the community, the families. And it was an amazing event. We did not really fully expect the outpouring that we got.
I'm sure.
It was a really fun event. People just kept coming and coming and coming. And it was such a beautiful display. And hopefully we'll get to do it again in the future.
I love that. Rachel, tell us about some of your financial education programs. Who are they designed for and what kinds of things do they cover?
So they are designed for everyone.
Good.
We have over 20 classes that we currently offer, and that's everything from helping a first-time buyer navigate the car buying process to teaching community members about protecting themselves from fraud. We also offer the foundational topics, budgeting, understanding your credit score, and debt management.
These are all things that are like adulting classes, even for people who are already adults, where we need a little bit more help than we already know how to do. I love that you all offer all of that. Charity and Rachel, thank you so much for everything y'all are doing. Thank you for coming on here and joining us. And for more information about Henrico Federal Credit Union, you can head to henricofcu.org. Give them a call at 804-266-0290 or stop by. Come visit them in person at 9401 West Broad Street in Henrico. I mean, amazing work that y'all do, helping us with our finances, the community, and more. And this showcase was sponsored by Henrico Federal Credit Union.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Storm Tracker 8 Chief Meteorologist Matt DiNardo. Look at the tropics. There's nothing going on out there. How great is that? But there are things, of course, we are watching, like high pressure in control to our north, giving us a lovely day today, and the next couple of days look really good. But is this system going to bother us? That's the question. And I have some other answers coming up on 8 News at 4. Clear tonight, and look at that, pretty comfortable tomorrow with sunshine. We'll see you at 4 o'clock.
Today we're talking about laughter and making jokes with comedian Whitney Cummings ahead of her show here in Richmond at the National on September 19th. Whitney, thank you for joining us on Showcase.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me.
So I have a question for you because you were quoted as saying, being mean for the sake of a joke is no longer required to succeed in comedy. And I love this. I don't even know if you actually said it or it was a misquote, but I just thought it was so wonderful because I think it's easy to be mean sometimes. It's much harder to just be really, really funny. Tell me about this mindset and if that makes it harder.
And look, when I started, that was not the case. To be sort of biting and acerbic was sort of refreshing and dangerous and taboo, because it was a time where, before internet comments and just people like, Reddit and just brutality on the internet. So it was like, surprising and shocking. But then things got so mean on the internet and just nasty roast jokes that were like playing to the, bottom of everybody's intelligence became so common and ubiquitous, frankly, that now I think that being mean is, it's not only not funny, but it's unoriginal. And, the way that we always tried to do it in the roast was to be very clever and playful. And the joke always had to be smarter than it was mean. And, but now it's just, things that are written, mean jokes written don't work because you're not able to see the comedian deliver it with a smile and see the person you're joking about, laugh at it, So I think that, roasts in that context are more important than ever if comedians are going to be, ribbing each other. But I think honestly, the edgiest, most punk rock thing you can do at this point is be wholesome and kind of, kind because, comedians, our job is to be surprising and a breath of fresh air. And it's not a surprising breath of fresh air at all to be mean anymore. That's, I think, kind of what we see all day on our phone.
I love that. I think that's such a fresh way to look at it. And I also think probably as a new parent, you want to make the world a better place and make it laugh at the same time. So if you're going to laugh, come see Whitney. She will be here in Richmond September 19th when she's in town.
Well,
you can grab them online and go to whitneycummings.com to see other places and find out more about her podcast.
Don't you dare end this interview because that I grew up in Roanoke, Virginia.
No, I didn't know that.
So was born in Washington, D.C. My dad's whole family is Roanoke, Virginia. And so I was born there because my mom had a job there, but every summer was Roanoke, Virginia. And then I lived there when I was a teenager from like 10. Yeah. So all my exes, all my high school bullies.
They're all going to be at your show. Every single one of those exes will be at your show.
Yes. So Virginia is my whole heart is in Virginia. And, the happiest times of my life were in Roanoke, Virginia.
That's so wild.
A lot of people, even in Virginia, don't know Roanoke that well. So, but the ones who know.
We know and we love Roanoke. But I hope, no, I'm just kidding. I really hope you don't have too many exes or frenemies or any of that. I hope you just get the best crowd when you're here. Thank you so much. I'm such a huge fan of yours. And I just have to tell you, I just found out, by the way, that you were behind Two Broke Girls, which is my can't get anxiety away, just like turn it on to make my brain just, do its thing and desensitize. So thank you for creating that like guilty pleasure anxiety reducer because it's so great.
Just jokes. I'm not trying to lecture anyone on how to vote or live their life. I just want to make people laugh. That's it. I always say that even if you don't think women are funny and even if you don't like me, come to my show. If for no other reason, then you're not going to hear about politics or have someone lecturing you on how to live and how to vote.
Amen to that. You are amazing. Thank you, Whitney. We appreciate you joining us on Showcase.
Thank you.
Talk to you soon.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow, great interview.
She is the absolute best. Like, I just love her mindset. It's so fresh. She's a new parent. She's like taking on life. Also, I don't know how she gets the energy to do all this. She's got a podcast. She's doing stand-up. She's writing TV shows. Like, how does she have time to do that?
Yeah, I don't know, but I love stand-up comedians. For me, it's just as long as there's not that much cursing, because that can be just a turnoff.
I don't mind the cursing as much, I don't think, although I got used to not doing it on the radio side for sure, and obviously now on TV. But I think I like people that are just funny for the sake of being funny, and when they point out the hilarious moments that happen in everyday moments that we all live through, because it kind of makes us think like things are going to go bad sometimes, and you just have to find the humor in those situations instead of just thinking, oh, this is terrible. Like, I like that Whitney and other stand-up comics can turn that around and just make you laugh at things when they go wrong.
Yeah, no, I love it too. And I really admire those who can do like impressions. I think that's
Can you do an impression?
I cannot. Don't put me on the
Come
spot.
on, you can't do any impressions.
No. Can you?
I used to be able to do Samantha from Sex and the City.
Oh.
That was like the only, like, because she'd talk like I can't even do it anymore. That was like the worst. We're gonna work on this, I promise. We will, like in a week, we'll have to come back.
We'll come back.
We're gonna each learn an impression of something or someone.
Yeah. I'll work on it. But yes, great stuff. We had so much fun on the show today. The Showcase team wants to thank you at home for watching, and we also want to thank our presenting sponsor, Window Depot. Plus, we would also like to thank our studio set partners. We have Brooks Brothers Flooring for the floor, Curated Furnishing for the furniture, Harrison Appliance for the kitchen equipment, and Wheeler's Handyman Service for building our beautiful, beautiful sets.
Today's segment sponsors include Window Depot of Richmond, Carter Myers Automotive, Financial Dynamics, Davis & Green, and Henrico Federal Credit Union.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us. We're so excited about all of the things we're going to be able to feature on Showcase, and we're going to bring you along for the ride.
We'll see you every afternoon at 3 o'clock.
Now, on 8 News at 4, a Warsaw pastor convicted of child sex crimes in the 1980s being sentenced today. We're breaking down the judge's ruling.
And a crackdown on vape shops. Local police forces are tracking illegal activity. What charges they're facing.
And a gas plant controversy. The hurdles Dominion Energy is having to overcome in order to bring the plant to Chesterfield, and why residents are not backing down against it.
Live with the news where you live. 8 News at 4 starts now.
A former Warsaw pastor taken into custody this afternoon after learning he will spend 8 years behind bars for sexually abusing children. You're watching 8 News at 4. I'm Eric Phillips.
And I'm Heather Hope. You'll remember we told you about Albert Wharton, who pleaded